This is Carrie with Cookbook Divas, and today I thought it would be fun to shop for some vintage holiday cookbooks on Etsy. I don't own any of the cookbooks yet. I just started shopping for them, and I found some amazing cookbooks that I want to show you, and they're one of a kind. So if I buy one, it won't be available for you. So I'll try and control myself. But I found some very interesting cookbooks, and I can't wait to check them out with you. So let's start off with the first cookbook of the day, Holiday Goodies. Let me grab a window so that I can look through these with you. We are streaming live to Facebook under Cookbook Divas and YouTube under Cookbook Divas. And we also have a tiny little channel called Christmas Shopaholic where I'm sharing some of our links there. So I am an Etsy book buyer more often than eBay lately. I find more interesting old vintage cookbooks on Etsy than I do on eBay for whatever reasons. I was an eBay seller for about 15 years and got tired of their management policies, etc. And some customers were getting too whiny. So here, if you want to check on this cookbook, click it below in the link. Here on Facebook, it's down in the comments section, or on YouTube, it's down below the description in the comments section. This is Holiday Goodies and how to make them. And I had forgotten about this until I started becoming a cookbook blogger. But when my mother and grandmother and my aunt bought cookbooks back in the 50s and 60s, they were boxed in boxes and you kept them in keepsake boxes. You didn't put them just randomly on a bookshelf. And a lot of them, the cute holiday ones by Peter Popper Press, were long and skinny and narrow. How cute is this? Now, you want to be careful when you're on Etsy to look and see, is this a reproduction or a vintage original? I'm guessing with the box like that, it's a vintage original. It is 4 by 7 inches. She doesn't have a year on it, but she says they're vintage condition with typical minor wear. So I'm scrolling through the pictures to find out what holiday goodies they're going to teach us how to make. I love the artwork from Peter Popper Press. It's so cute. The very first page of the book says, "Greetings. Hang the merry garlands all over the town. Smell the spicy odors of cookies turning brown. The mice have come to nibble. They're feeling mighty gay, but only little children shall have mice sweets today." Cute. Cookies and goodies to hang on the tree is one of the chapters. There's a recipe for popcorn Christmas trees and Christmas sugar cookies and German anise drops and eggnog pie. That would be curious. There's a recipe for taffy apples, and that's the only preview I can see here. So say hello in the comments. Let me know if you're watching and where you're watching from. I am in snowy Eastern Washington, and I do love celebrating Thanksgiving, but I also love Christmas, and I'm getting a jump start on my Christmas shopping for vintage cookbooks. Next up, we have Visions of Sugar Plums. I'm waiting for the link to hit the comments so I can click on it myself. Where are you? Come on. I'd like to click on you. There it is. Visions of Sugar Plums. Show link. Yes, please. Oh, there's the link. I didn't mean to show the comment on the screen. Pardon me. Hide. I wanted to click on the link because I would like to see this vintage cookbook up close. Okay, here it is. Visions of Sugar Plums. I'm going to have to check the comments a little bit easier here. I'm doing something wrong. So I wandered through Etsy today. I fell down the rabbit hole looking at all these amazing cookbooks and their links, and it was very expensive. And I don't currently own any vintage holiday cookbooks because my mother just used the Betty Crocker one, and that's all she did. And it wasn't a holiday cookbook, it was just a regular cookbook. So Visions of Sugar Plums is by Mimi Sheraton, and it is 206 pages. And I just looked up the date and forgot what it said. Let me take a look. 1968? 1968. Okay, a year before I was born. It's a cookbook of cakes, cookies, candies, and confections from all of the countries that celebrate Christmas. I love that. I'm peeking inside, and I see a Charleston crystal white fruitcake. I see a black fruitcake and a coconut fruitcake. I wouldn't want to eat any of those personally, but I'm intrigued by the Dutch Three Kings bread, Portuguese King's cake, a Greek honey nut bread, and a Greek New Year's bread. I definitely want to bake those. That is the only preview that this seller gave us of the Visions of Sugar Plums cookbook from 1968 by Mimi Sheraton. Next, here's a round cookbook. Holiday cooking. It's a shape book. I'm not sure I would cook anything out of it. Well, I don't know. Maybe. It's pretty cute. Let's take a look. Follow along by clicking through the link. And I chose sellers that do a really good job of sharing photos of the inside of their cookbook, which I think is really smart. It would make them sell it more quickly if we can take a peek. And many vintage cookbooks have wonderful recipes and cute illustrations, but not necessarily color photographs or any photographs, because of course it was more expensive back in the day to do that. This one is Vintage Holiday Cooking by Judith Bosley. The seller says it's from 1997, so it's relatively recent compared to all the other cookbooks I picked out today. It's spiral bound with 112 pages. And it covers spring, summer, fall, and winter, Christmas and New Year's, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. I see a recipe for Valentine cookies, orange juliana, raspberry punch, which I would probably add some vodka to, jack-o'-lantern jumble, that's cute, homespun Christmas scent, hot spiced mocha, and a few other little recipes that I can't see. It's a darling cookbook, and just if I had more room on my bookshelf, the novelty of it being round and shaped like a wreath, I would probably buy it to add to my collection. It is $13.95 today on Etsy. Our next cookbook we're going to chat about, I always have a little collection going of vintage Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks. I really like what they did, and it's fun to look through them because they do have some kind of horrifying by our modern standards food photography and some recipes that are like, really? Did people really eat that? So I kind of like to gawk at them, but they also have some really good recipes that I would like to actually cook. So let's take a peek inside the holiday cookbook from 1967, Better Homes and Gardens, 2 years before I was born. Click on the link below in the comments to open it up. We'll take a look. I see a Christmas cookie tray that's beautiful. A birthday is special, a time to remember, a salute to the Irish, a St. Patrick's Day party, and a page called for folks that enjoy something different. And I think I see fondue or raclette. So they have holidays and special days. They have menus for New Year's Eve, February Day, St. Patrick's, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and also some special occasions. Foreign fare, birthdays and anniversaries, coffee, tea, and punch parties. I want to go to a punch party. Not where you punch people, where you drink punch. And some table setting tips. The Halloween page is cute. You should click through and look at it. They have some vintage jack-o'-lantern designs that are adorable and charming. And I'm looking at a basket that has tons of Christmas cookies in it and a cute little handmade tag that says Merry Christmas for the Smiths. There's a Valentine cake that's shaped like a heart and has exquisite pastel pink buttercream icing on it. Love it. I love the seller. Thank you for including so many pictures. They're showing some old-time fudge, Rocky Road, remarkable fudge, and panocha recipes. And I remember my grandmother making panoche, but she called panucha, and divinity and fudge every Christmas time. And she showed me how to make fudge, and I was like 14 and I was bored and I wasn't paying attention, and now I'm caking myself. So that is the Better Homes and Gardens Holiday Cookbook from 1967. It is 30% off today. It's $16.10. The next cookbook we're going to take a look at is from 1955, a vintage spiral bound cookbook called Christmas Greetings. This mid-century cookbook, let me see if I can see the link. I think I have to refresh my Facebook page to see it. But it is down in the comments for the rest of you. Where is it? Come on. Oh, my comments didn't refresh yet. I think there's a little lag between when I switch to the book and the comment comes up over on Facebook and on YouTube. Here it is, Mid-Century Christmas Cookbook. Well, that'll teach me not to have my tabs open. I should just have them open. This is a Home Service Department Michigan Consolidated Gas booklet that they gave out to customers during Christmas. It is now $28. Whew, little pricey. It's a plastic comb booklet, they say. I'm going to look at the recipes inside. see what I can see. The contents are appetizers and beverages, breads, cookies, candies, fruitcakes, holiday entertaining, meats, poultry stuffings, and puddings and sauces. So I'm looking at the appetizer page. There's a chive egg dip, a pink shrimp dip, liver pate, no thank you, bologna wedges, corn piggies, that sounds fun, chocolate cream cheese fudge, and a recipe for uncooked fondant for decorating cakes. There's a cranberry molasses recipe, a Duchess potato ring with peas and beets. I wish there was a photograph of that. There's a cinnamon apple salad. And that is the only preview I have of this 1955 Christmas Greetings Cookbook booklet from the Department of Michigan's Consolidated Gas Company. It is $28 today over on Etsy. Next, I do not own any vintage Betty Crocker Christmas cookbook, and I would very much like to. Shona Milne over on Facebook is watching. Hi, Shona. She says, I'm going to have to sift through some of my parents' old cookbooks. Yes, that would be really fun. This Betty Crocker Christmas cookbook, let me take a look at that. I'm going to close some tabs that I'm not using because I don't want my computer to crash while I'm talking to you guys. Shona, do you like my headband? Woo! All right, 1982 edition of the Betty Crocker Christmas Cookbook. I love the Christmas roll tree, and I'm wondering why I don't make that. I should do that this year. Just take some dinner rolls, arrange them. It looks like they have some jelly beans. I don't know, cranberries. This is the 1982 first printing of this particular edition. It starts off with traditions from the Christmas kitchen, cookies, candies, and sweet snacks, desserts, and breads. The second part of the book is holiday fare for family and friends, Christmas Day dinners, buffets, brunches, holiday suppers, busy day dinners, casual get-togethers, open houses. I love throwing open houses and progressive parties because then people come and then they leave. The best part, party punches. And then the final part of the book is in the spirit of giving, gifts of food and salt dough decorations. And my mother definitely made me salt dough that I could make ornaments out of when I was 3 and 4 years old. And of course, the minute one hardened and I put it on the tree, I snuck over later and took a bite out of it. Yeah, it was edible. So I'm looking inside the cookbook. I see a recipe for pecan cheesecake squares, one for toffee coconut bars. There's one for chocolate coconut squares, quick praline bars, or as you might say in the South, praline. There's a lime squares bar, a spritz cookies, molasses spritz cookies, cream cheese cookie wreaths, crumb caca, rosettes. My grandmother always made rosettes. Rice pudding with raspberry sauce, a pasta raisin pudding. I have never seen a recipe for that. The ingredients include uncooked vermicelli, cream cheese, sugar, eggs, vanilla, salt, a carton, 16 ounces of dairy sour cream, and 1.5 cups of golden raisins, ground nutmeg, and cranberry topping from another page in the book. There's a recipe for pineapple banana dessert, cranberry cheesecake, and a beautiful picture. Click on the link below so you can see this, a partridge in a pear tree pie. In fact, this is so pretty, I have to share it on the screen. I absolutely have to share it. It's too gorgeous. Let me figure out how to do that. A tab, here we go. All right, look at this beautiful. Oh, hey, you're not sharing it. Show and stream. There's a partridge in a pear tree. I love the way they did that with the pears and the pie dough. That is so pretty. I'm going to copy that idea. This is why I need this cookbook. I can probably do it just from the picture, but that's pretty awesome. And then any other previews? Della Robbia apple pie. Don't know what that is. It must be a person. A cucumber pear salad, whole wheat popovers, herbed salmon steaks, Duchess potatoes. That must have been a thing in the mid-century. Green peas and artichoke hearts. And that is the end of our preview of the 1982 Betty Crocker Christmas Cookbook. We have 4 more cookbooks to look at here on Etsy today. Christmas Recipes Booklet is the next one. Let me grab the link so I can go explore it with you. Click on it in the comments below. Oops, I didn't get it yet. It looks like it's delayed by about 20 seconds here between my software and Etsy. Okay. This is from the 1960s mid-century holiday recipes, festive holiday foods. I'm going to go in close here and take a look, see if I can see a preview. It is another Michigan Gas Company booklet. They must have made a lot of those. This says, "We gather together, and there is laughter, there is joy, and there is feasting. Festive holiday food has been a part of our American heritage for more than 3 centuries. With happy holiday greetings, Consumers Power Company contributes these Christmas recipes in the hope they will add zest, color, and extra flavor to all of your festivities." I see a recipe for a ripe olive cheese sandwich, and I remember my mother making that for me, although she probably didn't have access to this cookbook. There's a fresh strawberry punch, a fruit compote, cheese crinkles, yum. Some of the entrees include prune stuffed pork, loin roast, breast of chicken on ham with, can't read it, a white wine sauce, holiday divinity, flaming lemon nutmeg sauce, wow, a hot fudge nut sauce, mocha peanut clusters, wow. And I'm going to turn the page. That's all the preview that I have from this seller. This vintage Christmas recipe booklet from the 1960s is $11.95 here on Etsy. The next cookbook I'm going to peek through. I love the funky font on the cover. It cracks me up. 1967 holiday recipes from Consumers Power, another power company cookbook booklet. Apparently, that was a thing back in the late 60s. I never knew. Okay. And it's taking a second for Facebook to pop the link up into the comments so we can click on it, check it out. These are affiliate links, by the way. If you buy the cookbook, I get a few pennies. No big deal. And okay, from Consumers. Cookies, cakes, salads, candy, and gifts. Best wishes to you and yours for the holiday season and the year ahead. Let's check out some of these recipes we could learn from this cookbook. And by the way, here's a pro tip. If you don't want to buy the cookbook, you can still look at the seller's pictures of the cookbook, copy it with a screenshot, and you can still make the recipe. For example, you could make candied orange bars, coffee cookies, chocolate chews, pfeffernusse, I hope I said that right, date clusters, chocolate dietetic cookies. They use cocoa, flour, milk, vanilla, walnuts, baking powder, sucralose instead of sugar, and margarine. There's a recipe for holiday divinity, which is made with sugar, white corn syrup, water, egg whites, nuts, and vanilla, and that's it. Quick butterscotch fudge. I think my grandmother made that a lot. Yum. Spiced apricots, caramels, chocolate cream cheese fudge, raisin peanut clusters, and then they have some ads for the home service department and some electric stoves, as you would think they would. This booklet is $20 from the To Be Jolly seller here on Etsy. We have 2 more cookbooks to look at. The next is Cooking for Christmas, and I think that's a reindeer on the cover because it's not a donkey or a horse. I'm not sure what to think of it. Not sure what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at this vintage cookbook booklet. As soon as it pops up in the comments below, you can click on it, close my other tabs. And I'm going to take a second at the end of our live stream to share with you the first time in American cookbook in the 1700s that someone thought to serve cranberry with turkey. We're going to take a look at that at the end of the show. I find it quite fascinating. Okay, a 1950 Cooking for Christmas by Charlotte Turgeon. Unfortunately, the seller has a pretty battered up copy. It's not in good shape. She wants $27 for it. It's 10% off. There's a reindeer on the cover. And she writes, as the holidays approach, plans for traditional Christmas hospitality begin to take form. It is then that this unique cookbook will come to the aid of the busy housewife, for it contains menus and recipes for every form of holiday entertaining, from an old-fashioned Christmas dinner to a New Year's buffet for gourmets. Nor are the children's parties forgotten. Okay. Oxford University Press, 1950, and it has nice vintage decorations on the pages. Here we go. Menu 5 is a large buffet for Christmas and New Year's Eve. It begins with a champagne cocktail or a cranberry orange cocktails, and the recipes are to follow in the book. Cardinal lobster, pâté de foie gras or liver mousse. I will have a no thank you helping on both, thank you. Then there's a recipe for a cold roast turkey and a hot oyster stuffing, boulangère potatoes, a buffet salad, a garlic bread, buttered French breadsticks, fruit bowl ice, macaroons, Scotch shortbread, and coffee. That is a large buffet indeed. She has suggestions for holiday open house parties. Hot chocolate, bun sandwiches, gingerbread men, cookie kringle, white wine punch, white bread sandwiches, Italian macaroons, saffron bread, a farmer's bishop. I don't know what that is. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of that before. Christmas fruitcake, Christmas cookies, Scotch shortbread, hot cider wassail, dark bread sandwiches, white bread sandwiches, Greek New Year's cake. That's the second cookbook we've talked about today that has that recipe. And something called cherry meringues. The seller's giving us a preview now of some of the recipes. There's one for oyster stuffing, one for wild rice and liver stuffing, chestnut and sausage stuffing. I think that one survived the test of time because a lot of people serve it that way. Christmas sugar cookies recipe with suggestions for decorating. And that's the only preview we have in the Cooking for Christmas cookbook from 1950 by Charlotte Turgeon, $27. Final cookbook we're going to look at today is the Complete Holiday Cookbook. I love the cover with the chocolate cake with, I guess it's a Black Forest cake, and the same color green candles that my mother had for years, and she never lit them because she didn't want them to burn down. Okay, the Complete Holiday Cookbook will be the last cookbook we look at before we move on to the vintage American first American cookbook that has the first mention of serving cranberry with turkey. This Complete Holiday Cookbook is $26 from the Cookbooks and More shop here on Etsy. It's vintage from the 1960s. I'm going to take a peek inside. And it says, including menus, recipes, and ideas for special occasions, entertaining food gifts and appetizers. Starts off Valentine's Day. We get a preview of Easter. I see a ham. Labor Day is basically a picture of 4 different pies. Thanksgiving is a golden roast turkey with some squash. Special occasions, I see chili in a giant bowl. And a Christmas recipe showing a ham or rib roast surrounded by some apples, I think. That's the Complete Holiday Cookbook. And they don't list the author's name, or I would say it. It is $26.24 from the Cookbooks and More store. All right, we're going to hide that one. And then I'm going to share my screen so you can see I'm using a website called archive.org. And I'll give you the link to this vintage cookbook in the comments so that you can see it. And I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look together at this very interesting American cookery cookbook. Here we go. I want it to be bigger than me. How about, yes, there we go. The Art of Dressing. And it is by Amelia Simmons, and she wrote it in 1796. And so we're looking at page 18, where she's giving us a recipe for roast veal or roast lamb. And then she says to stuff a turkey, grate a wheat loaf, I'm going to blow this up bigger so I can see it, 1/4 of a pound of butter, 1/4 of a pound of salt pork, finely chopped, 2 eggs, a little sweet marjoram, summer savory, parsley and sage, pepper and salt if the pork be not sufficient. Fill the bird and sew up. The same will answer for all wild fowl. Waterfowls require onions. The same ingredients stuff a leg of veal, fresh pork, or a loin of veal. Now she says to stuff and roast a turkey or fowl. She goes through the recipe, and then she says serve it with boiled onions and cranberry sauce, mangoes, pickles, or celery. That is the first time in an American cookbook that someone suggested serving cranberry with turkey, and I guess it worked because we do that to this very day from now on. So that was my little tour of vintage holiday cookbooks over on Etsy. If you click the link and buy one, I'll get a small affiliate fee. Be sure to stop by the Cookbook Divas Amazon Live streams at amazon.com/live/Cookbook Divas, where I will be looking at Christmas things and the 5 new cookbooks that I got in the mail from some publishers. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live stream about vintage cookbooks on Etsy, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Bye.